Think you've had a rough day at work? Wait until you hear this ridiculous story. This isn't an episode of Gordon Ramsay's Hotel Hell, but a tale of an unsung hero, a teenage busboy turned dishwasher who has more work ethic than a colony of caffeinated ants. And hey, if you find yourself chuckling, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe for more wild tales just like this. Alrighty, let's dig in. A couple of recent stories reminded me of something that happened way back when. I was a teenager and had a job at a hotel as a busboy in a coffee shop. We had about 95 seats, and on a Saturday and Sunday we would do about 400 covers. It was busy, but I was very good. After noon, things would slow down, so I would jump into the dish pit and help them catch up. One Sunday, the back-of-house manager and the general manager were having lunch, and they called me over. They asked me to take the next Saturday's evening shift in the dish pit. I reminded them that weekends were pretty busy, and they would have a problem if I wasn't bussing on breakfast. They told me they would get someone to cover bussing, but they really needed me in the dish pit that Saturday night. I agreed, but told them that I would need to leave at 11 p.m. on the dot, as I relied on public transit to get home, and there was no way I could work late. They said, "No problem," and we had a deal. I showed up at 3 p.m. to absolute chaos. Guess who they had to cover bussing? That's right, the dishwasher. The pit was absolutely stacked with dishes, and then I found out why they needed me on that shift. Banquets in the coffee shop used the same glassware, plates, and cutlery, and there was a massive banquet going on upstairs. When I got there, the cook line and the banquet crew were going nuts, prepping and setting up tons of centerpieces, place settings, that sort of thing. We had bussing carts, and the banquet crew was loading them up and running them up the elevators to the banquet hall. It was pandemonium. The back-of-house manager kept yelling at me, saying, "I need more forks right now," and I was fishing through the dozens of bus pans from the day shift trying to get him the stuff he needed. It took a while, but I managed to do it for him. I took it with a grain of salt since he was actually a pretty good guy, just stressed to the max. Finally, the banquet stuff all went upstairs and I could clear the backlog. It took me until about 8 p.m. Then, nothing. There were about 400 people attending this banquet, and occasionally I would see a member of the banquet team come down, and I would ask them where the dish carts were. These guys treated me like crap and snapped back that they would bring them down when they had a chance. Sure enough, it was about 10 p.m. when the parade of banquet bozos started wheeling cart after cart of dirty dishes in by the pit. There were tons of them, 30 or 40 at least, and none of the bus tubs were sorted. It was all just tossed in. They weren't even scraped into the trash, and there was leftover food on lots of the plates. Just before 11 p.m., I saw the back-of-house manager talking to his crew, and I went up to him. I was really pissed off. "What the hell am I supposed to do here?" I asked, gesturing to the carts. "Wash the damn things," he snapped back. "There's no time. I leave in 15 minutes, remember?" "Well, you'll just have to stay late." "I can't. I have a bus to catch. If I miss it, I miss my connection, and that's the last bus. So no, I am leaving, and I told you that last week." He started getting irate, and I just took off my apron and left without a word. The next weekend, I arrive for my busboy shift, and I get called into the general manager's office. The back-of-house manager was there, and the general manager was asking me why I abandoned the dish pit in such chaos. As it turns out, nobody on the banquet crew would work the pit, and in the morning there was nowhere near enough dishware and cutlery for the coffee shop. The dishwasher they had covering that took one look at the hell and back and quit on the spot. They had to close the coffee shop and lost out on a ton of money. I just looked at them and reminded them that when I said I would take the dish pit for that shift, that I would be leaving on time. It's not my fault that the banquet crew didn't start bringing down the carts until after 10 p.m. The general manager looked at the back-of-house manager and asked him what time they served the meals. "So you're telling me that your crew took over 3 hours to roll the dishes back downstairs and you didn't do anything about it? What the hell were they doing? Why didn't you assign 1 or 2 to push the carts?" Then I pointed out that all the carts weren't sorted and that the plates weren't even scraped. The back-of-house manager gave me the stink eye, and the general manager excused me and said to head down to the coffee shop and pick up the bussing. The following weekend I came in and there was a big notice targeted at the banquet guys. All bus pans were to contain only one item, 1 pan for dinner plates, 1 pan for side plates, 1 pan for glassware, and another for cutlery. All dishes were to be in the dish pit no later than 15 minutes after being pulled from the table. All plates were to be scraped of excess food waste before going in the pan. The banquet crew was pissed that they actually had to do their jobs, and the back of house was pissed that a lowly busboy and dishwasher put him in the hot seat. They never asked me to take an evening shift again. Okay, so here we have our hero who isn't your run-of-the-mill busboy or dishwasher. He's practically a Nostradamus of the hotel industry. I mean, the kids saw it coming when they asked him to swap his bussing shifts for dish duty on that fateful Saturday night. But he's a good sport, right? He agreed, but only under one condition. He'd be out of there by 11 p.m. sharp because even wizards of the dish pit can't magically make public transit wait for them. Now, in my mind, a hotel isn't typically a Game of Thrones-style battlefield filled with the carnage of dirty dishes and cutlery. But then again, I've never had the pleasure of witnessing the Banquet brothers in action, throwing plates in the bin like they're competing in the discus throw. Then there's the plot thickener, the back-of-house manager. This guy could have had his own spin-off. He's deaf to the ticking time bomb that is the Everest of dirty dishes. His favorite pastime? Snapping at our dishwashing whiz kid because obviously he secretly summoned the dish tsunami. Here's the golden moment. Our hero's grand exit. Apron off, a Jenga tower of dirty dishes teetering precariously, and a crew that's minutes away from recreating the climax scene from Titanic. He exits stage left, leaving behind a wake of chaos and a crew questioning their life choices. If there ever was a moment for a mic drop, this was it. But the soap opera isn't over yet. The next day's carnage is attributed to our time-conscious dishwasher, leading to a high-stakes meeting with the big bosses. Our young hero, with an innocent shrug, drops the truth bomb. He had warned them. Ouch! It's like a sitcom punchline, but with more dirty dishes and less canned laughter. And here's the grand finale, folks. Picture the Banquet bros sulking, forced to do their jobs. Oh, the horror. And the back-of-house manager? Seething at the fact that a lowly busboy just outmaneuvered him. It's high school drama with a generous helping of dirty dishes and zero teen romance. And the lesson learned? They never dared ask him to take an evening shift again. I guess all's well that ends well. Until the next dish disaster. Thanks for watching till the end. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more of these ridiculous stories. Love you all and stay safe out there in that crazy world. Much love. Peace.